We got a preseason game to talk about.
Yeah.
Last one, it'll be interesting to see. I love that the NFL cut the final preseason game. They cut the fourth one. And so now it's like, well, typically the third preseason game was the dress rehearsal where you would play your starters like for the first half, and you would really see what they had. And then the last preseason game was just a bunch of guys that weren't even going to make practice squads going out there and giving it their all. And so now there's only 3 of them, and also the views on preseason games have changed so much over the last 5 seasons that I wonder who's going to play. Hot take, I think Kirk Cousins might have a drive in this game.
I disagree.
I think it would maybe benefit him. I think like the starting offensive line might get a drive. I don't know. They're doing the joint practices, and everybody's saying now like joint practices replace the preseason. So I would like to see
Kevin
him have a
loves
drive.
Kevin loves the joint practices, man. I do think you have a point, because especially how bad the offensive line has looked at times. But especially if Arizona isn't playing their starters, there's going to be no point. And so I don't know, maybe I just don't think it's going to happen.
I think there's just a difference in what the play call sounds like coming through your helmet at TCO, whatever the name is for the practice facility, versus the play call coming into your helmet in, US Bank with fans. People are excited. It's the preseason. People are drinking. I think it would be nice to just have him go out there for like a series, one drive maybe. But, and maybe I'm showing my cousin's hatred here, I wouldn't put Justin Jefferson on that field for $1 million.
Absolutely not.
Nope. Don't. If he's stepping on the field, the game better mean something. So, I just don't think. I almost don't want him to play against the Bucs, because I don't think the Bucs are going to be very good, and why risk it? So let's save him for like the Bengals and the Chiefs and the Eagles. Leave him on, Carolina. Nah, no Jefferson for you guys. You guys can see him after he gets his big extension and we win the Super Bowl. But it is going to be fun to see. Like, I think I kind of spoiled this. I should have saved what I said at the beginning of the show for this portion of the show. I want to see Jalen Hall, and this is I'm pleading with the Vikings coaches. Let Jalen Hall play with the second string line and the second string, bunch of receivers. And I don't know if Addison will get any run in this game. I know he didn't play this past week a lot because of the concussion that he suffered. So I wonder if he does work his way back from that and he does end up playing in the preseason game. I would love to see Jalen Hall throw a pass to Jordan Addison this preseason. That would make my life. So I'd like to see that happen. We can't even talk about. I mean, the Vikings really ruined the preseason. We can't even talk about the kicking competition anymore. They cut Pods. Hot Pod, I think, is what you said his nickname was. So we can't even talk about that. So I'm going to say 3 things I want to see really quickly. I want to see Jalen Hall throw the ball in the second quarter of the game. I want to see Greg Joseph make a 50-plus yard field goal, and I want to see the Vikings not look awful on defense. But the problem is it's a bunch of backups, and so even if they look bad, I can't say, the regular defense is going to be bad, because so many guys will be out. So I just want to, I don't know. I'm so ready for the regular season, man.
Yep, same. I'm right there with you. It's definitely getting to the point where it's like I've tasted the entree, but I've only been given one bite of each piece.
Yes.
And it's like, a little bit of meat, a little bit of potato. I'm showing my Midwestern roots here, and a little bit of, salad. But I haven't got the full entree yet. And I'm right there with you. 3 weeks till kickoff. The things that I'm looking for very quickly, I've talked about a lot of this when it came to the joint practice stuff, and I kind of melded it into the preseason game. Like I said, I want to see Mekhi Blackman on the field. I would like to see what is their names? Just the offensive line do better, because when it comes to our starting 5 or whatever, they're fine. They'll be okay, hopefully. But guys like Oli Udoh and Blake Brandel and Austin Schlottman, they started games last year. And if those guys look as poor as they did yesterday, meaning Saturday, that Vikings could be in trouble for when they get thrown into the game, come week 4 if somebody gets a sprained ankle or something. And lastly, I want to see the team be more buttoned up and just tighter. Yeah. This team was sort of praised, and rightfully so, for being situational masters last year. They have not been that this preseason, not from the perspective of, turning the ball over. I don't even think they've turned the ball over yet. They've taken it away 3 or 4 times. Oh, they did have that muffed punt. Thayer Thomas muffed a punt. But, it's not that. It's more just not converting third downs. It's penalties on 3rd and short. It's penalties to back you up inside the 10. It's just a lot of just not clean football. And you could tell that Kevin O'Connell was just upset about it last night in his press conference. Just like very much like, you could just tell he had this level of like, yeah, it's not my starters. Yeah, it's not my full team, but dang, this was ugly. And, there's a culture thing that they're looking to set, and being situationally great is part of that. And they have not been it the first 2 weeks. So I'd like to see that in week 3, even though in some ways it doesn't matter for the regular season. It matters insofar as keeping the culture going. So that's kind of what I'm most looking forward to. And then I'll let you take it out from here.
Yeah, I think that were those final thoughts? Were those official final thoughts? Okay.
Yeah.
I think bringing up the penalties is a really good point. Just not buttoned up at all, and like you said, and like you mentioned with O'Connell's post game press conference. It's not Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw going out there getting the holdings, but Oli Udoh did it again. He fooled everybody. He played well whenever he came in as a backup last season, and then this preseason he looks like Oli Udoh from 2021, where it's like he's holding all the time and he's just getting penalized, or he's just letting guys run by him. He just doesn't look good, and so we kind of saw the value of backup linemen last season, and granted, having a good tackle next to you can make you a better guard. Offensive line is one of those positions where having someone really good on it can bump up everybody else just by, how the defense decides to attack you or what you can do. You can get help from a guy, whatever it is. But the backup offensive linemen look bad, and they don't look good, and they don't look put together. And it's kind of that way across the board. On the defensive side of the ball, and we talked about this earlier, the defensive backs, somebody needs to step up and be like, hey, this is I don't want to say this is my defensive backfield, but somebody needs to step up as you can be excited about me. I might not play much this season, but Byron Murphy, he's going to be playing a lot. Caleb Evans will be playing a lot, but Caleb Evans got injured and got concussed 3 or 4 times last season. So if he gets concussed, we could be talking about a Caleb Evans not being a football player anymore. Bigger than, hey, I'm a Vikings fan, I want a good corner. But if he does go down with any injury, I want to be confident and maybe even excited about the potential of that just means Mekhi Blackman's going to get in the game. And that's kind of how I felt about Andrew Booth whenever he came in. And I was like, okay, we get to see Booth. And Booth looked good in college, and he's a rookie, and let's see what he can do. Booth is fighting for his life. And I don't know that one good week against, the Cardinals, second stringers, is going to save it. But it would at least be optimistic that there's some development happening if he does take a step and looks really good in practices and looks good in the game, because they were playing him into the second half on this past week's preseason game against the Titans. I think he's playing into the second half against Arizona. And I think that shows what the Vikings coaching staff kind of thinks of him at the moment. And it is that they, there's the Jeffersons that you don't want even sniffing the field for a preseason game because you need him in the regular season. And then there's the Andrew Booths, who we have to have a body out there for the preseason game. And if you go down, we weren't really planning on using you that much anyway. So that's fine with us. And it's kind of brutal, and it sounds, cutthroat and nasty, but that is Unfortunately, the world of football.